What are some red flags when taking a listing that there might be some hiccups in the closing?
Good question. So
From agent. We didn't want to say the name.
So a couple things that come to mind. If you're taking a listing, this does not mean that your closing is going to go off the rails, but it could if you're not diligent. One, if there's an estate involved. There's a couple reasons why, because maybe there wasn't a will, so the people that think that they inherited the property might find out that North Carolina had different plans, and they are not the only people that inherited the property. Sometimes the executor thinks that they're the only person that has to sell. Let's say last year we had 200 closings with an estate. One of those, the executor was allowed to sell without the joinder of the heirs, and that was because they had to go to court to do it.
That's 0.05%. Or 0.5%.
Yeah. So
0.5% of them.
Yeah. So most likely the executor is not going to be able to sell without the heirs also signing. There are very narrow ways to get that done, but unfortunately most wills are not drafted in that way. So estates are one, mobile homes are another one. That could be because...
Gotta get the VIN number.
Got to get the VIN number because
I hear your people in the office yelling down the hallway, gotta get the VIN number for that.
Yep, because there may still be an active mobile home title. Just because it looks like the mobile home is stuck to the ground doesn't mean it has been legally done so. So it may still be in the DMV's records as an active title, which means it could also have active liens on the title that need to be paid off. So if you're going to get a loan with a mobile home, then the lender's going to want to see that mobile home permanently affixed to the property, meaning it is taken out of the DMV's records, title is canceled, any liens paid off on that. So that's one that you could see red flags on. Separated couples. So either they don't have a separation agreement or they do and they haven't carried out the terms of the separation agreement. Really anything where both spouses aren't in complete agreement to sell the property, you run into issues. Yeah. And then there's one more thing I'm thinking of.
The only thing I was thinking of with this would be there's the phrasing of when you're declaring what's on your property. If somebody is being kind of sketchy about like their declarations and what is it, not
representations?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So like not, what's the word? It's like, yes, I know that's a thing, or no, I don't, and then like no representation.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that you get from being in person to see if they're being misleading.
Right, and that's what I was trying to get to. Like maybe they're being sketchy about it because they know it's a thing, but they just don't want to say that it's a thing, and so it's going to come up in the closing research, which would then be an issue.
Yeah, if you have a cagey seller,
yeah,
that potentially is going to become a problem.
Yeah.
Also, lately there has been, unfortunately, a major increase in scammers. So this is another red flag. If you're trying to take a listing and you have never seen your seller ever, and they, only communicate through like WhatsApp or email. They won't do a video call with you. You've never met them in person. And it's especially if they're trying to sell a vacant lot, because there has been an increase in scammers trying to sell vacant lots impersonating the true owner. Vacant lots are especially at risk because there's nobody on the property all the time. So an owner is not necessarily staked out,
It's wild. Like the scammers are getting so good.
Yeah, and so what they'll do is they'll impersonate. They'll have to be a mail away, of course, because they're not really who they say they are. They get the notary to, they falsify the notary. So it's Investors Title just came out with a really good kind of guideline on this, or actually, was it Investors Title or LM Title? I don't know. Whichever one of you did that, thank you very much for doing it. I'm sorry that I can't remember exactly which one. But kind of a guideline on trying to verify sellers' identities in mailaways, especially for vacant land. It is everybody's responsibility. As agent, closing attorney, everybody involved has to be on top of this to make sure that the seller is who they say they are.